Thank you for voting in today's vlog. It was a pretty resounding ASICS GlideRide 2 kind of day. That's what we're taking out, but I gotta say, the Reebok Float Ride Run Fast 3.0 came in a close second, but yes, we are gonna test out today the GlideRide 2. Come on. Pretty zesty, pretty zesty. Look at that outsole. Actually, 1 second, hold on. There it is. I knew it was hanging around. There it is, the GlideRide 1, okay? This is the shoe I did the 50-mile run in last spring. The GlideRide 1 versus the GlideRide 2. Hopefully you can see that real briefly there. The outsole has changed just a little bit. Very, very fascinating. So far, plenty of space through that toe box for the length. The width feels a little snug. Not, I can feel my toes right here very much so, but the length of the toe box, so from the end of the eyelet chain to right here, the end of the toe box, there is some decent space in there. And I went true to size, of course. Always try to go true to size when I'm testing shoes. Very interesting. Come on now, it's time. Oh my goodness, ASICS GlideRide 2 arriving in the studio, and I gotta say right now, it's freezing outside. It finally feels like winter in Denver. We've had a very mild winter here in Denver, but if I don't have a ton of shots of me running today, it's because the GoPro 8 does not like the cold. So anyway, just so you know that, here we go. GlideRide 1, here it is. We're gonna do a little weight comparison here in a minute. I do believe that the GlideRide 2 is actually gonna come in a little bit heavier. So we'll put both on the scale. And was it late 2000? I believe it was November/December, at least in the United States, when the GlideRide 1 was released. So it's been a while, and they have definitely made some changes from the GlideRide 1 to the 2. I'll probably have to do a running shoe battle vlog at some point once I take this to 50 miles. And I do believe we will get the GlideRide 2 to 50 miles. Now, is it a neutral road running shoe? I don't know. We're doing a twist test, but it is barely dancing, everybody. I mean, it's a neutral shoe with training wheels, okay? It is really guiding your foot strike and your overall, like I felt it out there in so many different ways. By the way, 10 miles, 16 kilometers today, about 7:05 per mile, and I will tell you how I will use this shoe moving forward here in a minute, as well as who this shoe I think could potentially be best for here in a minute as well. Let's dive in though. 5mm drop from heel to toe. Again, on the research that I've done, 35 in the heel for the men, but 30 for the ladies, okay? So quite a bit of difference there in the stack height between the men's version and the women's version, okay? And then 30 in the heel for the men and 25, sorry, wait a minute, here it is on your screen, men and women, oh my goodness. All right, there's the stack height, 5mm drop falling into that higher stack height category. It did pick up 2mm of midsole foam from the 1 to the 2, okay? Keep that in mind. For the weight, here it is on your screen. And in my size, well, let's do it. Okay, in my size, I got about 10 ounces inside the house. Yeah, this scale is 9.9 ounces in my size, all right? Now, I gotta do it. Oh yeah, it feels lighter. The GlideRide 1, I'm guessing it's about a half an ounce at least. Here we go, 9.4. So there's the comparison on your screen between the 1 and the 2, a half an ounce. Not crazy amount, but it is a difference, okay? So the weight did go up, which is why the score is not so good. Moving on to that upper, we're looking at a monofilament engineered mesh. The lockdown was amazing. It is not a gusseted tongue. You know how I like the gusseted tongue feel, but it was an amazing lockdown, that is for sure. It's not a plush collar by any means. I did not feel any slipping through the heel. Let's do the heel counter test. Built like a tank. It's not a TPU overlay here on the heel counter. It's gosh, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe. There might be a plate inside the heel. Like I cannot bend it. Just so like it is hard as it's very, very stout, very high build quality. That is for sure. So overall score for the upper is solid. Breathability, my toes did feel a little bit of cold out there today. It was pretty chilly here in Denver though. So overall, very pleased with the upper. Moving on to that Flight Foam guide sole technology through the midsole. And again, they did add 2 millimeters of stack height. Let's do this durometer test. I mean, it's pretty stout, everybody. Like it's giving, but not too. I'm not sure if you can see that there. It is giving, but it's not. It's quite a bit different than a lot of the other shoes I've been testing as of late. For example, the New Balance 1080 V11, the opposite spectrum with respect to the overall ride and softness scale for the midsole foam between the 1080 and let's say this guy. For my ride and energy return score, I gotta say, I think again about 7, here it is on your screen, about 7-ish a mile today. I think this shoe would feel better for my biomechanics between 6 and 630 per mile. Okay, it just didn't feel, the ride and energy wasn't quite there. I think for me, it needs to go a little bit faster. At least that's what I was feeling out there. And I should mention that this overall, the rocker feel of the midsole, it's designed to reduce the amount of flexion in your ankle, okay? This overall design of the midsole, same with the original GlideRide as well, which what they're going for is to help reduce the stress or how quickly your legs, especially your lower legs, your ankles, your soleus, your calves, how much work you have to put into your overall gait cycle when you're out there running in this shoe. And I definitely remember that in the GlideRide 1. This shoe turned into my long run and middle distance shoe in a big way in 2019, early 2020. And so I'm gonna have to go to 50 miles to really see if I'm feeling the same in the GlideRide 2. And again, there is that hardened EVA plate in there and I could feel it. I don't know what else to say. Like it's a pretty, again, it's kind of comes across as a stiff ride. Did I already mention this? Needs to go to 50 miles in order to break in. Or at least 30 miles. Like it needs some break-in time. So if you get this shoe and it feels a little hard coming out of the box, like a little stiff, I think it's gonna need some time to break in. Outsole, we're looking at AHAR Plus. I'm gonna try to resist not comparing it to the outsole on the original GlideRide. The decoupled groove has changed and I'm not sure I like the change. Again, come back. I'll probably do a running shoe battle about the outsole, about the overall shoe here soon. But the AHAR Plus rubber there, the green on the outsole, I like it. The fact that it's not completely covered. And it is, oh man, like the durability prediction is gonna be very good. And as far as that fit goes, we went true to size, no issues with the length. And again, just a little snug through the toe box with respect to the width, which I prefer. So no issues for me there. And even though I was getting quite a bit of room there with my thumb test, again, no issues once I got out there. Running comfort score, not amazing. All right, again, it's not an incredibly plush upper. And that midsole, maybe it's gonna break in eventually, but just coming across, maybe it was the temperatures today, but just coming across a little on the stiffer side for the ride. Now my positives and drawbacks. Positive is that it was easy to hold a steady pace, okay? That pace you see on your screen, that's my steady pace. And I wasn't even really thinking out there. That's the crazy thing about this shoe. And I don't know if it is that design of the midsole. It must be. Like it doesn't allow you to go fast. Once you lock into your cadence and your stride, I found, again, reminder of the GlideRide 1, I just found it easy to hold a nice steady pace. So that's my positive. Kind of a strange positive. I usually don't pick that for a positive, but it feels like it just wants to kind of go a little bit faster. And my drawback for the GlideRide 2, I was on the fence, but I decided to go with a weight. In my size, 10 ounces, that's quite a bit for a road training shoe. And the durability prediction, now, because the weight is a little higher, they added some extra components to the shoe. I'm going 700 miles. Again, built like a tank. If you get this shoe and you take it to 700 miles, if you could, maybe put in your calendar somewhere, send Seth a photo of the outsole and the midsole after 700 miles. I'd be fascinated to see how this shoe holds up over the long haul. Now, how will I use this shoe? Long run or middle distance runs, and definitely not a tempo day, just too heavy. And yeah, so long run, middle distance runs. And who is it best for? This is interesting. I don't want to say successfully transitioned more so to forefoot striking in my biomechanics, but I really am. Like, I'm noticing it more and more, even compared to, let's say, 1 year ago. So this shoe didn't feel great out there with a forefoot striking. Therefore, I'm going to say, if you are a heel striker and you prefer heel striking, it felt much better when I was just really using that whole rocker motion, okay? I don't know. So that's who the shoe is best for. If you like to heel strike, you're looking for a shoe that has high durability, and you like a shoe that is going to help kind of guide you through your overall, again, it's a neutral shoe with training wheels, and that's not a bad thing. Like, if you need a little bit of help to keep you moving forward in a straight line, I think this could be a winner for you. So that's who it's best for. And price point, we're looking at $150 now. I don't think it's quite available yet, but there you go, my score. Just I think it's actually a fair price, because I do believe that durability is going to be very, very high. Other shoes to buy on your screen. I just can't resist putting the GlideRide 1 at the top, because I'm just not sure the updates. I don't know. And again, I'll take it to 50 miles. I don't know if the updates are going to be worth. Now, if they are the same price, then yeah, maybe go with the GlideRide 2. But then again, this guy's just a little bit heavier, so you kind of got to weigh your options there. Moving on to the shoe quick specs one more time on your screen. Soak it in, soak it in. Okay, there you go, there you go. And my early score, not full review, 7.1 out of 10. 7.1 out of 10, not too bad. Not approaching the 8s, but it did break into the 7th. The biggest issue is the weight. So again, ASICS, if you could, if we can drop it down to the low 9s in my size, I'd be a lot more excited. In fact, that would start to get me excited about considering, using it for a tempo day, but not at this point in time. Okay, question of the day. Nothing to do, well, maybe it has something to do with running shoes. This is fun. I don't think I've ever asked this before. Here we go. And again, thanks for being here and always answering the QD down in the comments. What do you remember most about your first race ever? Maybe you were in elementary school. Maybe you were 70 years old and you signed up for a 5K. I don't know, but what do you remember most about your first race ever, and what was it, and why do you think you remember that element of the race? For me, it's gotta be, I was a little on the fence about this. I think it was a cross-country race, my seventh grade in middle school, and I just remember the freedom of no, let's say, like, it was sidelines. I know you have to stay on the course in cross country, but like no, soccer sidelines or basketball like you can't go out of bounds, and you can go out of bounds in a cross country race, but you know what I mean. It's like you were kind of free and there was no ball to chase down. So that was like another element of freedom that was very unique and strange, because up until that point, I had always played sports where there were boundaries, whether it was the foul line in t-ball or the out of bounds in basketball, or whatever the case may be. So thanks for hitting it up, onward and upward. GlideRide 2, we will get to 50 miles. How quickly, I'm not sure, but we will get there. And of course, I gotta toss it to the GlideRide. I think I made a couple vlogs about the original GlideRide. Old vlogs, I think over a year old now. So right there, right there, right there. All right, everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Onward and upward. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.